everyone, and welcome back to I Am Little McGriddle, and welcome to another episode of Zombie Exodus. Last time we left off, we moved into another office. There was a bunch of weird stuff happening. We ran into a bunch of holy zombies, including, whatever. A lot of stuff happened, and they've been building up the cathedral's defenses and everything and getting rid of all the dead bodies and all that, just to bring it back up to the way it was. Now we are on August 17th, and it's 2012. Same year. Whatever. Let's get started. Your eyes pop open, and you suck in a cool rush of air. Your heart pulsates beneath your breastbone, and your body is clammy despite the coldness filling the room. In the ambient light from a nearby lamp, you see the stretcher on which you lie and a white nylon sheet covering half your body. Around you are similar metal tables, all empty. You must have fallen asleep downstairs. So you rise and step into the hall, and you must have lost your clothes somehow. You realize as you glance down at your naked body. Dreaming, of course. Well, okay, that's comforting. That's good to know that we're dreaming again. A brilliant glow streams from the hallway. You move into the light, and your body slows as if caught in gossamer, thick and celestial. Your hands glide through the wavy air, skin shimmering with a yellow hue. Through the hallway you move, stumbling as you walk, over the sterile tiles, past the plain white walls. You enter your office and flick the light switch. The overhead lights flicker and bathe the room in a sheet of pale green. Sitting at your desk is a man completely covered in a lab coat, except for his head. His features are pronounced, cheeks and jaws oblique, mouth full of yellow teeth, eyes pink, brown hair slicked back with dark moving spots crawling across his scalp. I don't even want to know what that is. He strokes his thin beard with one hand and holds a clipboard in the other. Your left hand tenses, and you stare down at a knife on the floor. The man stands and extends a hand in greeting, and words leap in your mind across the silent room. It's time, Chloe. What time for what? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Time for what? Oh, I get a choice here? But this is a dream. We're dreaming. We're still dreaming, right? Oh. I take the knife and stab him. Stab him. Oh, your eyes pop open. Oh, no. What? Oh, okay. What? Oh, wow, that was strange. Okay. Same. You sit up in bed alone, the sheets drenched in sweat. The hands on your wind-up clock were at 8:46 a.m. Your mind replays the nightmare as you stand and dress robotic in emotions. The man, the scientist, what did he want? Closing the solitary window, you see a storm brewing outside. The sky is a solid cloak of gray and purple clouds. Purple? Wow, that's not good. Wind blows leaves and wood ash across the cathedral lawn. The smell of rain saturates the air. The second floor of the cathedral is quiet, and a darkness hangs in the hallway. You descend the stairs, body still shaking, but finally your heart race has slowed. Stepping into your office in the early morning, you flick the light switch, and the overhead lights flicker on. Your desk is covered in paper, sheets of inventory, handwritten notes from the other survivors, and a cluttered collection of documents, from construction ideas to Exodus plans. Sticking to the front of your inventory logbook is an index card scrawled with a brief message signed by Heather. Maybe you've noticed we're all sick and can't stop throwing up and going to the bathroom. Maybe you've noticed the disgusting dead bodies in the sanctuary. Think the two are related? Yes, I know. Water, 1 day food, 3 days energy, 11 days medicine. We have absolutely no medicine. Fuel is high. Great, because fuel is great. Whatever. A knock at the door draws your attention away from the columns of a spreadsheet. Tom stands at the entryway. The ex-leader of the cathedral appears younger with his beard shaved down to a stubbly shadow, hair slicked back and styled to the side. He wears black short-sleeved polo with a tan cargo pants and black work boots, all crisp and clean. Man, he really cleaned up nice. Sorry to bother you this early, but I want to discuss some things before the workday begins, he says with a smile, stepping into the room and sitting in a folding chair near your desk. Sure, Tom. Tom shifts in his chair and leans with his forearms on your desk. The major reason I am here is that Uncle Lou is set to leave in a few days to attempt to find what he calls an exodus truck. He is politicking this plan to leave the cathedral by reinforcing an 18-wheeler with metal plates and gun holes, then loading up with the supplies and taking the survivors across country to less populated areas. Yes, I know, Tom. He's mentioned this to me a few times. My concern is that he is not suited to such endeavors alone. Sure, he's a smart man and a crack shot with a rifle, but so many dangers lurk outside these walls, and I fear he will not survive the mission. I also don't think we can spare many people, so we need to send the best member of our group with him. I'm sure you can guess who I recommend. Yeah, I mean, I did say that I was going to go with Uncle Lou to him directly as well, so why not? Great, Tom says, clapping his hands and rocking in his chair as if excited as some daredevil play in a football game. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I know you're busy. Yeah, now I am. He heads out of your office, only pausing to wish you a good day. Yeah, because this day is going so great so far. August 20th. Wait. Okay. Sitting in the kitchen, eating a cold bowl of dried cereal, you hear the sounds of movement in the doorway from the sanctuary. Mindy steps in. A beret sits off-centered on her head, and she wears a black and silver Los Angeles Kings jersey with black striped pants. Uncle Lou's leaving. You better gear up. You spoon up the last bit of stale cereal and head down the hallway. In the supply room, you study the gear to determine the best equipment for today's mission. You're carrying 10 pounds and can carry a max of around 35. Backpack, food, and water. We have. Oh, well, I guess, I don't know, I'll take that AK-47. I don't know, cavalry sword? Should I take the rope? I'm gonna take the rope. If I can take the night vision goggles. Oh my god, please tell me I can get the first aid kit as well. Nope, crap. Well, then, that's the first mistake made in this episode. Current inventory: assault rifle, cavalry sword, backpack, flashlight, night vision goggles, food, water, 50 feet of rope, and a grappling hook. You know what? I'm putting the night vision goggles back, and I am going to purchase the first aid kit. Okay, AK-47. I had the cavalry sword, right? Okay, the 50 feet of rope. I think we're good now. Oh my god, no. Wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Alright, then I'm gonna take the combat knife as well. Yes, time to go. The early morning brings an unseasonable chill to the air outside the main doors of the cathedral. Chloe, over here, Uncle Lou calls, as he packs your supplies for the trip in the back of the van. In the bandit attack, all vehicles were destroyed except for the beat-up Dodge van. A secondary objective of this trip is to find another usable vehicle. God damn bandits, you and your destroying of vehicles. As you move closer to the van, a light rain falls, misting the area. Toby bumps up against your leg, then stares up as if to say, "Excuse me." You spot Heather around the opposite side of the van, helping Uncle Lou load it with backpacks in a duffel bag. Tom closes the hood of the van and grabs a duffel bag to load. "Jesus, are you going on a mission or a vacation, Uncle Lou?" Heather asks as she drives her hands into the side of the overstuffed baggage. "What? I need these things. Always be prepared, just like a Boy Scout," he answers. When Uncle Lou turns away, Heather glances at you, rolls her eyes, and mouths, Oh my God. Uncle Lou climbs into the driver's seat and you cross a small parking lot to join him. Toby tries to squeeze past you in the van as you open the passenger door. No, Toby, get down. We can't take you, buddy, Uncle Lou says, waving the dog out. Heather whistles and slaps her leg, and Toby cocks his head to the side. He dashes from the van and crashes into Heather's legs, almost toppling her over. She kneels down and kisses him as he licks her face. Aw, but I don't want to leave Toby. The rain is falling harder, but sun rays poke through the thick white clouds hanging in the sky. Swinging the doors open, you lift a leg to enter the van as Emma rushes out of the cathedral door. She runs over and nearly knocks you over with a hug. You can't leave without saying goodbye, for God's sake, she says and squeezes your back. She leans in close and whispers, when you get back, let's talk about our next step. It's time to move on. I love you. She releases her grip and backs away. Good luck, you two, Uncle Lou. Take care of my sister. Finally, you jump into the passenger seat, slam the door shut. Your clothes are damp from the rain, and a chill passes over your body from the cool, late August air. At the edge of the driveway, 3 zombies stagger down the road, like drunks leaving a bar. Uncle Lou pulls the van out of the lot. As you pull closer, the trio of undead spin toward the vehicle and dash forward. The lead one hunched over and trotting with his hands against the ground. The 3 speed headlong at the van, their brains too warped to avoid the oncoming vehicle. God, you guys are so dumb. Uncle Lou steps on the gas and the van jerks forward, the motor revving with an angry hum. The front left bumper slams into the hunched zombie, flinging his body to the side. The next zombie smashes against the right front quarter and thrown off at an angle, its legs broken in half by the impact. Whoa, excuse me. The third zombie strikes the middle of the front end and immediately disappears under the carriage. A throaty growl radiates through the van's floor, and the chassis teeters side to side as the side wheels thump over the zombie's body. The vehicle groans and settles back on the road. You stare over at Uncle Lou. What? He says with a surprised look, like he didn't just mash the van into a pack of undead. In the rearview mirror, the 3 zombies lie scattered across the road, their bodies twitching in the last throes of real death, as the van lurches through a turn and the image of the cathedral disappears. Yay, now we're on the road to hell. The rain picks up, pelting the van, and rapping on the ceiling like a fast-paced drum. Water seeps through the window seam and trickles down the floor, flicking moisture on your clothes. The sun is now hidden by thicker clouds, and as you travel further and further from your home, the rain slows until only the threat of it lingers in the air. The smell of pine permeates, sickly sweet in the aftermath of the quick storm. Oh my God, okay, don't you just love it the way it smells after it rains? I mean, that probably sounds weird, but it smells absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. Thanks again for keeping me company, Uncle Lou says. I know you're busy and all. Great that you could help me out. You're welcome. Moments pass as the road merges into a paved highway and you feel the comfortable reprieve of a bumpy, bouncy ride. Yet now we're on the highway to hell. I need to get out and do a mission. I respect that, Uncle Lou says. He tilts the seat back and lays his arms across the top of the steering wheel in a lazy pose. You suspect some meaning beneath the surface of Uncle Lou's statement and reply. What? Yes. Not sure I need to get out for a mission, but I'm happy to help. I'd rather... What? I don't think Tom exactly begged us to go. I also don't want to be at the cathedral, though. Yeah, well, guess that. I don't need to get out for a mission, but I'm always happy to help. Well, that's not what I heard, Uncle Lou says and pats you on the back. What do you mean? I'm not supposed to say nothing, but Tom practically made me take you. I mean, I wanted you to go anyway, but I wasn't going to force you. But Tom said you were dying to go, and I should make it like I needed you bad. Oh, well then. Yeah, let's get Dad telling the truth. That's interesting, because Tom begged me to go with you. He said you were afraid to go alone or ask anyone else. Uncle Lou's face dropped. I don't know what game he's playing, but when we get back, we gotta talk to him. Time moves slowly as you travel around the old pine woods, and the hum of the motor and sway of the old van lulls you to sleep. Though your eyelids are heavy and focus drifts, you remain awake and keep watch for any signs of trouble, be it living man or zombie. The dull great, would you please calm down? Oh my god. Okay then. Alright. This happens every time. Why does it only happen when I am recording Zombie Exodus? Guys, help. I don't know. The dull gray road extends endlessly before you, painted yellow line dividing the highway, a striped snake trailing beyond the end of sight. Beside the road, the forest goes on for miles in each direction. You make a game of finding any differences in the scenery. The trees and earth seem unchanged as you look upon the silent wilderness. A Simple Man by Leonard Skinner plays on the CD disc, turned down low. Great. Fantastic choice of music. 10 miles from the cathedral already, Uncle Lou belts out, rousing you from near slumber. 22 to go. If you want to sleep, go ahead. I'm wide awake. Thanks, Uncle Lou, he say. Yeah, no problem. You've been working hard since taking over as leader. Even before that, you deserve a break. It's another reason I'm glad you came. Uncle Lou smiles and looks back at the road, one arm lazily perched on the wheel, the other tapping the dashboard to the beat of the music. I really hope you and Emma come along with us when we leave the cathedral. I know you haven't known me for long, but it's like you two are my kids, you know? Family. I'd miss both of you too much. Ah. I pretty much consider Uncle Lou as a father. I mean, yeah, I'll say that. Uncle Lou reaches over and squeezes your shoulder. Up ahead you see a wood and metal bridge with a right turn leading to an interstate. A gust of wind blows paper trash up and over the low side railing. Your van moves swiftly toward the crossing, and as you note the slow for bridge, 35 miles per hour traffic sign, you glance at the speedometer. 80. Oh great, it's 80. We're gonna die, aren't we? We're going a bit fast, Uncle Lou, you say. The look of the man's face and the sound of him pumping the brakes tells you something is wrong. Oh, this is wonderful. I knew it. Oh, okay, hold on. Before I continue, I think I know what happened. Now I'm going to stop for a minute and actually talk about this. Or actually talk about things. But, I think Uncle Lou was trying... No, not Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou's great. He's awesome. He is like a father to me. And so, Tom, I believe... Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. Throat's a little itchy. My water's way over there, so I can't get it. But I think Tom was trying to get rid of us and maybe try and kill us as well. Because before they left, I'm guessing Tom fixed it before they left, which probably means he sabotaged it, which means that he did something to the brakes so they wouldn't work. Looks like Tom isn't that great of a person after all, is he now? The van swerves as Uncle Lou fights to keep control. The motor roars as the speed increases and the tires squeal under the pressure of the racing vehicle. You are helpless as the van careens closer to the bridge. Your hand pushes at the dashboard and you lift your feet to embrace them against the front panel. You state a silent prayer and close your eyes. The van skids sideways as it hits the bridge and you glance at Uncle Lou, yanking the wheel to meet the turn. The large vehicle leans to the left and then the world spins. Your body jerks against the cross strap of your seatbelt and holds you in place. A sharp, don't you dare, a sharp pain flares in your right shoulder and knees you bounce against the passenger door. The van topples end over end and you hear a groan of metal bending followed by an immense splash. Your vision twists of the van, up is down, left is right, and all of it is faster than you can react to hold yourself in place. Upside down, your head bumps as the ceiling and the chest strap snaps off at the lock. Ugh. Sending you rolling into the dashboard. Glass shatters nearby, and water pours through the cracked driver's side window. The vehicle stops moving with an abrupt jar, and your neck nearly snaps from the sudden stop. Ugh. Ugh. Alright then. Your left knee throbs but bends. The salt taste of blood licks your lips. Gross. As water fills the van, you look over at Uncle Lou, who has an odd look on his face. A line of blood trickles from his nose and left eye, smattering the ceiling, turn, floor. He doesn't move. Somehow his seatbelt holds his body in place and his arms hang limp. Uncle Lou! You shout and cross the front of the van to help the man. As you spin your body around and watch the cold, stagnant water filling the cabin, you slide near the unconscious body of your companion. Wake up! You crawl the distance of the short dashboard and try to devise a plan to catch Uncle Lou once he releases his seatbelt. Only seconds remain before the van is completely submerged. You grip Uncle Lou's shirt and reach for the seat buckle latch, but stop as you finally see the left side of his face. Oh no. No! Oh man. I have such a high hatred for Tom right now. Oh my god. I am so ticked right now. The skull dented and caved from impact. You blink hard and stare again, hoping the picture changes from temple to jawbone. The size of his face is now concave. His eyes are vacant, and life has gone from his body. God damn it. The water has risen to the top of his head, and you slowly realize the van is sinking fast. Though the driver's side window is broken, it will be difficult to climb past Uncle Lou. Your gear is still in the back of the van, and once the vehicle sinks, retrieving the equipment may be too difficult. Leaving through the passenger side window might be easiest once you bust it open, but in your shaky state, you quickly wonder if you have the strength to do it. Get my gear, I guess, if it works. You crawl along the ceiling, keeping your head above the rising water. You cringe as your left knee touches the hard metal, half swimming, half gliding. You move into the back cabin where duffel bags and knapsacks lie under the water. You reach down and grab the first handle your hand crosses just as a loud crack explodes from behind. A torrent of water gushes in from the passenger side window, and the tilt of the van has back cabin filling fast. Hands reach in, long, dark-clawed fingers feeling the inside of the van. Blood spills in with the water as the zombie's arm cuts across the shards of broken glass. Goddamn zombies, I am getting sick and tired of you assholes. Well, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna have to leave the gear in there. You suck in a deep breath and swing to the back door of the van. You hit the lock and push on the door, but it won't budge. Pull your legs around and press them against the ceiling while gripping a sliding bolt with two hands. You strain to open the door, but the lock won't budge. You glance over your shoulder and see the zombie slithering its body through the passenger side window, its mouth snapping open and closed like a piranha. You tighten your grip on the metal until it nearly cuts the palms of your hands, digging in with your feet, but yank on the bar. Garbled growls float through the water. You wrench the bar and it finally pops. The doors swing outward and you swim into the cold, murky water. Swimming for a few yards, you feel the slick, muddy liquid around you like a cocoon and pop your head up for a quick breath. Two zombies run from the shoreline near the van and rush into the water towards the sinking vehicle. Once they are near, their heads dip below the water surface. You swim for shore, body aching from being tossed around. Hitting the dry earth of land, you look back as a wave of blood bubbles up from the van. You run through the forest a short distance until finally exhaustion overtakes you. Collapsing onto the ground, you suck in the damp air and let the breeze cool your skin. Your left shoulder aches, but it is your left knee that has you most concerned, and it has already swollen. You try to stretch out your leg, but can't get it straight. Sitting up, you check the joint and feel it not broken. Thank God for small favors. The forest is quiet, save for the buzzing of insects and gentle music of birds. You stand and feel the pang of strained ligaments in the left leg, but you can walk, and walking is what you'll do as you recall Uncle Lou's words. 10 miles from the cathedral. Check your inventory. You think of Uncle Lou in the van. At least he died before the zombies got to him. All the gear is still left in the submerged van, but what went wrong? Why did he lose control of the van? It all happened so fast, but Uncle Lou mentioned the brakes weren't working. A cold breeze rustles through the trees. Your wet clothes cling to your body, though it is early in the day, most likely still morning. You don't want to be out here in the woods at night. Your only option is to head back to the cathedral, roughly 10 miles away. Given the injury of your leg, you can possibly make the trip back in 10 to 12 hours, of course, and you'll take any vehicle you find along the way. Considering your options, you could return to the van and try to retrieve the supplies, though there is a strong likelihood the zombies are still there. Following the road back is the easiest course, though you need to walk in the woods off the road to avoid anything traveling that route. Most likely bandits or zombies. Hiking through the woods is the most direct way to the cathedral, but the forest will slow your travel and be just as treacherous as the road. After weighing the pros and cons of each choice, I'm just going to travel back on the road to the cathedral. To make it to the cathedral, taking the road makes the most sense. The sun is high overhead, and you estimate it is around noon. With 10 miles to go, a long trek awaits you. You cross the highway and move a few yards deep into the forest and start your journey back home. After a short distance, you pick up a long, smooth, unbent tree limb from the ground and use it as a makeshift crutch to ease pressure off your left leg. Immediately, pain leaves the limb save for a dull ache at the knee. The forest is thick with trees, and the ground is all dirt and fallen leaves, with the occasional root that sticks out of the earth. While you knew this way would be difficult, you quickly realized this is going to take a while. For what seems an hour, you keep a solid pace south along the highway. Your clothes are drying but still damp. You feel the heat of the sun when you pass through a stream of light poking through your trees. A breeze flows from every direction, sending a shiver through your body each time it passes. You are thirsty and tired, but push on. As you stop to take a breath by sitting on a smooth rock, you notice a rough path leading east into the forest. It was easy to miss from the road as you passed in the van, as it is narrow and unkempt. Leaves and rocks cover the path as it is curved through the trees some 30 feet deep. It disappears. No, I think I'm just going to continue onto the road. I don't want to risk taking the path. The highway continues straight south for a mile, you estimate, and then curves slightly east. The smooth, barren blacktop extending as far as you can see. The sun has dipped below the tops of the immense pine trees, plunging the area into a deep shade. You are hungry and can only hope to find some kind of sustenance soon. It is a quiet, lonely hike over rugged terrain. As you try to remain nestled back into the woods along the road, your mind wanders. How did this happen? What went wrong? You remember the vehicle being loaded and Tom looking under the hood. Of course, Tom would be looking underneath the hood. Could he have done something to do with the brakes? Yes, he's the one that sabotaged the brakes. Your mind flashes back to the moment before the van fell off the bridge. Something Uncle Lou stated resonates. He said it quickly as the van sped along the road. Tom fixed it up before we left. Could he have had something to do with it? You know, I bet Tom would tamper with the vehicle's brakes because, well, I don't know. I can't think of any way to form an opinion of my own about this. Tom must have cut the brakes on the van. He wanted this to happen. You know, I bet he did. I don't know why, but I bet he wanted him to die. Maybe that's why he got rid of him so quickly. A noise from deep in the forest snaps you back to reality. A faint sound of laughter. Smoke wafts in the distance, curling up in the trees, thick and billowy, like a long black worm. Now I'm gonna go see what's up. You move toward the smoke, using the brush and trees as cover. Though the woods in this deep are normally clean and unspoiled, trash lies on the ground. Candy wrappers mixed in with dried leaves, clumps of used toilet paper wadded up beside a tree. Ew, that's gross. An old, shredded magazines thrown about. Moving closer to the sounds of laughter, you spot a small fire nestled in a clearing, with two men sitting next to it. The man on the left, the younger of the two, is squat and frumpy with a bushy beard covering his neck and wavy brown hair parted down the middle. He wears a thin-framed designer eyeglasses and an old bomber-style jacket and a rifle slung across his shoulder. He has a long scar from above his right eye down to his right cheek. The other man is well over 6 feet, bald-headed, thin and bony. He never stops moving, his legs bouncing, hands rubbing his legs, his face twitching as if some constant nervous tick. Remember that boy we chased down the other day? Short fellow with that stupid-ass beaver hat with the flap pulled down? In this heat, you'd think, being round so much death, he'd toughen up, screaming, "Oh, please, don't hurt my wife. Please!" Begging like that pissed me off. Be a man, stand up to us. Well, you guys seem like jerks, just chasing down people for no reason. Tall one has a deep southern accent. Ha! Deep south! His moves are exaggerated and he swings around an automatic pistol like a conductor's baton. If he would have stood up to us, he would have still killed him, the smaller man says. He lacks any accent and speaks clearly like a TV announcer. Fair enough, fair enough. But I wouldn't have tortured both of them. Would have made it quick and painless. Rustling in the bushes nearby causes both men to raise their weapons. Calm down, jerks, it's only me. A man emerges. Never mind, it's not us. It's someone else. A man emerges from the woods, pale with jet black hair and a handsome face. A shadowy beard and deep-set cheekbones. He has a scoped rifle on his shoulder with a curved stock. Damn it, Ray, announce yourself next time, the tall one states. Shut up, Bubba. His name was Bubba. One of you should be watching the perimeter, not sitting on your asses. Grab your rifle and come with me. There's a jeep on the road that overturned. I want someone to check it out with me. A jeep? Where'd it come from? Bubba says and spits in the fire. How the hell should I know? I swear you get dumber by the minute. Now get your rifle. Hurry up. And Douglas, I better not find you sitting when I get back. That fire might attract zombies, so keep an eye out. You say you want to prove yourself, but so far you're dead weight. Sometimes I wonder why I didn't just shoot you along with the rest of your group. Sorry, Ray, I'll do better. Bubba rushes to his sleeping bag and grabs a hunting rifle and follows in behind Ray, who barely waits for him. The two head off east through the trees. Nah, I'm not gonna get involved with them. Maybe I'll just continue on my journey home. You trace your steps back to the path in the woods and pick up your pace in the direction of the cathedral. After a quarter of a mile of rough hiking, you step out onto the highway to see if you can spot any signs or some indication of how much further you need to travel. Only highway is visible in both directions. Long and black and desolate, clouds roll across the sun, shading the area in a sudden wave of darkness. Like the lights falling in a movie theater, you press on down the road. You are terribly thirsty and headache swells in the back of your skull and neck. Your skin is cool as the end of summer breeze licks your now sweaty body. The only comfort is the quiet of the forest. You follow the long curve of the road, more highway as far as you can see, but roughly 50 feet away a convertible jeep is parked on the shoulder. Its front wrapped around a massive oak tree. Steam rises from the hood. A figure lies on the ground near the driver's side, face down, wearing army fatigues. Well, shit. You approach the scene carefully. Clouds roll by, allowing the sun to illuminate the area in an orange glow. A heavy breeze rocks atop of the trees. As you reach the jeep, you are bathed in sweat. The motor is still running, and the cover is down so you can see inside. A metal briefcase with an insignia labeled on its side sits in the passenger seat. Otherwise, the jeep is empty. The soldier is still, and you notice a pistol on his belt. And maybe I'm going to search the soldier. You snatch the pistol from the soldier's belt, half expecting him to wake up. He remains still. You roll him onto his back. His face is pale and yellow, eyes are opaque and brown, and his face is ballooned around his forehead and cheeks as if pumped with water. Several small green lesions adorn his throat. Great, now he's a zombie as well. The soldier isn't fully changed yet, but it is better if you move on before he rises. You step back from the soldier and hop into the Jeep. The wind picks up and blows hard against your face. The sun shines bright, and you spot a pair of black sunglasses on the dashboard. You slip them on, casting the world in a deep shade. Hey, if he's gonna wear some shade, I'm gonna put some shade on to look cool. That went well. So, you drift into drive and press the gas pedal down, heading south along the highway. The road bends and narrows further south, and clouds once again appear, challenging the sun for its place in the sky. In the distance, heavier clouds hang low, black and twisted. The engine's loud rumble cloaks on all other sounds. Gray smoke flies in the back of the Jeep. It gets you 2 miles closer to your destination before it rolls to a stop. Of course it does. On the passenger seat, the briefcase sits, a hard gray metal with 2 clasps and a built-in lock near the handle. You try to open it, but it is locked. You step out of the Jeep and continue your journey along the highway, thankful that you've made it this far. You walk for another hour, or what seems like an hour, through the old pine woods. The forest is expansive and listen. You trek across the same dirt path, past the same old trees, while staring up at the same sky for what seems like hours. Your feet ache and your mouth is dry. Your left knee is throbbed so long you stop noticing the pain. You are dirty, tired, and thirsty. You have no idea how long you've walked and only guess that you're almost home. Up ahead, a large obstruction breaks the natural walkway of the forest. A long brown tubular vessel of some kind. Walking closer, you realize it is a camper, dirty and broken down. Sitting on the roadside rest stop pushed back among the trees. The outer walls are dirt stained and the windows are boarded from the inside. The bottom is propped on cinder blocks and leaves and twigs coat the top. Dead camper? Great. Well, I'm going to search it. Hopefully I don't get attacked. 2 sturdy doors provide access to the inside of the camper. Oh, it's a camper. I thought you meant a camper. Oh, sat on my leg too long. You know, I'm probably not the only one, but did you all think that it was like a camper? Like it's what you call a person that goes camping? One on each end. The left side door has a heavy branch leaning against the surface. Close to the door, a latch so you move it inside. Oh, sorry. The door itself is securely locked. Checking the right side door, you find it unlocked and notice a strange latch which locks on both sides, inside and out. The camper is well maintained and clean compared to its exterior, but the built-in furniture is well worn. The paint is chipped and fading, and plywood reinforces most of the interior walls so it looks like the inside of a massive shipping box. You check the dashboard and driver's area. The camper is out of fuel and the ignition doesn't even burp when you turn the key. Next, you search the overhead covers and only find a box of stale breakfast cakes and a juice container with a sugary purple liquid, which you quickly consume. Searching through the low compartments and shelves, you spot nothing of value but random items. Empty toothpaste tubes, broken high heels, ripped pages of a notebook, a telephone receiver with no base or cord. After a solid half hour of searching the entire camper, you turn up nothing of use and return to the path through the forest to continue your journey. Hold on. Before we continue, I just had a thought. I mean, Tom said that that we're probably the only ones that would have been able to do those jobs that he sent us on. But I'm actually thinking that he might have been lying, and that he's been also trying to send us out to get us killed as well. It's just a thought that I had. I don't know, but probably true. I mean, through the old pine woods you hike, keeping the highway in view, but at a distance, using the sun's position as a compass to lead you back home. It is a lonely hike, and your mind can't stop dwelling on the event which got you here. Your mind picks at each detail: the faulty brakes, the van plunging into the water, zombies, Uncle Lou. Can't wait to confront Tom and find out if he tampered with the brakes. After all the suspicions you've had about the man, if he did this, there must be repercussions. You suck in a breath of crisp air It clears your mind for a moment, but as you breathe out, images start swirling around again. Faces of the survivors of the cathedral. One in particular fills the void in your head. Emma. You've protected her the best you could, tried to keep her away from danger, and you want to get back to the cathedral to keep her safe. A sharp scream pierces the quiet of the forest, waking you from your daydreaming. It is a human scream. A young girl. Wow, what's going on? Oh, hey, someone. Yeah, okay, thank you for telling me that. Help! She screams over and over. So locked in your own thoughts, you didn't hear the wild, shrill sounds of zombies nearby. Oh my gosh, my stomach is making the rumblies. Now the girl's screams eclipse the howls. You rush towards the sounds, though it seems ludicrous to run towards zombies. The pleading cries of the young woman's voice propels you forward. You rush to the forest, heart pumping, eyes peeled for any sudden movement, guided by the ear-piercing sounds of the undead. Past a rotted clump of brushwood, a trio of zombies stand beneath a maple tree, its thick plume of red and yellow leaves, and just out of their reach on a branch is a living girl. She is young, maybe early teens, with red wavy hair, kneeling down on a low branch and hugging the trunk, tears streaming over pale cheeks. Aw, it's okay, we're here. We're gonna save you. Please don't cry. The three zombies leap and swat at the girl, who cries and leans against a tree, calling for anyone to help. Each scream riles the trio below. All three are dressed as campers in shorts and tank tops, their skin gray and cracked. One stands on two stumps, apparently having both legs amputated, but it claws at the tree, digging forked fingernails into the bark. The girl's face is long and drawn, and her arms are jittery as she moves. She is breathing rapidly, and her eyes are drooping. On the ground, 20 feet away, is a large orange backpack. You duck behind a tree stump to figure out your next move. Yeah, wow, I would be such an asshole if I just take the backpack and continue on home, but I have to worry about my own survival. But there's a little girl. We gotta save her. Well then. Kill the zombies. Okay. Thanks. Nice. I'm glad you have a gaming channel now, Nikki. That is awesome. I don't know. I'm going to be such an asshole, but I'm just going to go take the backpack and run on home. He ducked low and crawled to the backpack, keeping an eye on the zombies and your girl. Your arms and legs scrape the gravel-filled dirt. The breeze blows dust in your face. Up in the tree, the girl closes her eyes and rocks in place, her lips moving with no sound, as if praying for someone or something to intervene. Your hands brush the backpack straps and you place them over your shoulders. The pack is weighty and you adjust it on your back and buckle it around your waist. You cut deeper into the woods, away from the girl and the zombie trio. You move at a slow pace, careful to avoid any noise that may draw the attention of the zombies. When the cries of the teenager have all but faded, you return to a normal speed through the old pine woods. As you walk the path through the old pine woods, you search for the backpack of the girl. I feel so bad now. In the main area are a few set of clothes, some underwear, a toothbrush, a hairbrush with a butterfly pattern on the handle, a bottle of water, and a clear plastic bag with 2 peanut butter sandwiches. A sketchbook lies in the side fold, and you flip through the pencil drawings of scenes from the camp, various people and landscapes. Under the sketchbook are a few comic books. Planet Z Girl, about a superpowered teenage crime fighter from another planet. As you flip through the pages, several photos slide out. A baby in a playpen, a toddler in a stroller, Hadley in a school uniform, and Hadley at a theme park in front of a giant roller coaster. The last photo is of a man balancing Hadley on his lap, and he races with the wheelchair down a long ramp. Over her legs kicked out and head tilted back in laughter. You turn the photo over and see handwriting in black ink which reads, "Me and Dad." You place the photos and comics back in the side compartment and zip the bag up. returning it over your shoulder. Then look up across the long, desolate trail, wiggling through the bleak forest. Drinking the water soothes your cracked lips, and you gobble the sandwiches like the last morsels on earth. You move across the old pine woods, trekking along a crest of low mountain recognizable as a landmark near the cathedral. The woods are calm and silent. Clouds have wandered away, leaving a blank, pale blue canvas. The moon marks distant sky, faded like a phantom. Your march is almost done. Up the path to the cathedral, you spot a lookout over the head in the overhead tower, but it's only an image. Uncle Lou pointing down with his rifle, watching the road for any danger. In the blink of an eye, he disappears, and you hang your head in the last plodding steps along the lonely road. You walk the hill to the cathedral and the last stretch of land before you can rest, if resting is what you intended to do, but as you plod up the path, legs cramped, back aching. You cross the crest of the incline and spot the remnants of war. Corpses lying on the grass, blood sprayed along the stone walls, shell castings spread over the grounds, and the smell of death and decay hanging heavily in the air. Zombie bodies, whole or in parts, are sprawled across the land, hacked or shot, dismembered or flayed. You stagger around the undead obstacles, minding of any movement. Should the dead not know they are truly dead? The massive doors of the cathedral shake when you push them, but do not open. Weary from the trip, mentally drained from all that has transpired, you pound the wood with the palms of your hands. Hey, it's Chloe. Is anyone going to hear this? Probably not, but... Heavy sounds emanate through the doors, which shakes and shudders and creep open a long arc. Mindy stands on the other side, covered in dirt like a war paint, white teeth smiling through the dark face. What happened? You both asked simultaneously as you entered the long vestibule of the inner sanctuary. Zombies. Lots, Mindy says all too calmly. We've been fighting all day. You look like hell. Where's Uncle Lou? From the corner of your eye you spot Toby just as he jumps up to greet you. His front paws slap your upper legs and you stumble for a moment. He blasts a short, excited yelp and you rub his head. No, I'm going to gather everyone and say it to them. Mindy rushes through the archway leading out to the sanctuary. Walking further inside, you glance around the interior of the old church. Weapons are strewn about. Piles of bullets are set on tables. Knives and other edged weapons are decorated with now dried blood. An old cots line the inside chamber. On the table near the catwalk is an R-15 rifle which you lift and load with a fresh clip. You sit in a folding chair and stretch out your leg, resting your ankle on a stack of wood. It doesn't take long for the survivors to fill the church area, a concerning show on their faces. Minutes later, you stand in the center of the room amid the watchful eyes of the ragtag group you've been a part of since the outbreak. All appear worn from fighting that day, clothes ripped, covered in specks of dirt and human debris, armed with the tired looks of soldiers, fresh from the battlefield. Give the details of your trip. Do it. Do it. Do it. You clear your throat and speak to the group. On the trip to the truck depot, 10 miles from the cathedral, the van went out of control. We sped over a bridge into a creek. Uncle Lou was killed in the impact. To make matters worse, zombies attacked us immediately, though I escaped from there. I walked the road back to the cathedral with limited supplies. You described the trek through the countryside, your encounter with the bandits in a small campsite, a large zombie that crossed your path, and a teenage girl in a tree. You summarize each event, but after reading the faces of the wearied survivors, you know their day rivals your own, so you cut the discussion short. What went on here today, you ask? Zombie exodus is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come upon us. We are at war. Mindy says and draws her arms across her forehead. Drawn here somehow right up the doors. We killed them all, but more came, double the size of the first set. Everyone fought hard. More zombies are in the distance. A sea of undead, moving like a wave. All I can suggest now is that we rest and make some hard decisions tomorrow about our future, you say. For those who want to stay at the cathedral, fortifications need to be made. For those who want to leave, you'll need to go soon before that wave of zombies crashes on us. Everyone nods at your words, their grim faces showing mixed signs of exhaustion and despair. I'll take first watch. Most of us should sleep here right on the cots we set up, weapons ready in case of attack. Those doors won't keep holding back zombies for long, says Mindy. The survivors break away from the circle and move around the sanctuary. Tom leads through the archway to the gathering as you contemplate your next move. Emma rushes to you so quickly she bumps you with her body. I need to speak to Tom, man. Okay, we'll talk later, Emma says and gives you a quick tight hug. The western tower overlooks the old pine woods and the area all the way south of the cathedral. Winding stone steps, chipped and cracked, lead up to a sparse circular room with wide windows, and an arched ceiling gives this the appearance of a medieval castle sentry outpost. As you ascend, you hear a loud whistling human-made, an upbeat tune echoing across the gray walls. At the top of the landing, you see Tom perched at a window, binoculars around his neck, pistol at his hip, his face emotionless. Wow, question Tom about my suspicions? Or threaten him with the gun and ask him for answers? Or should I just straight up shoot him? Well, I'm not going to risk him doing any more damage to any of the other survivors, so I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and I'm going to end this. As you raise the rifle, Tom reaches for his pistol. Now hold on a minute. You press the trigger, it is an instant of time and nothing seems to happen. No explosion of sound, no flash of light and smoke. You blink a few times and the gun feels weighty in your arms, so you drop it. But a perfect round circle appears in Tom's forehead, a red dent in the skin. His eyes roll back and his body hunches, then drops to the floor where his limbs languidly spread and a thin sheet of blood seeps across the stone floor. You remove the binoculars and pistol from Tom and drape his body across the open window. On the ground below, the bodies of zombie corpses are stacked against the side walls. You push Tom's body outside and his lifeless form tumbles through the air and slams into a pile of undead where he joins them in eternal sleep. You spot movement in the distance, and next an army of undead only a few miles away, trotting mindlessly across the landscape, headed your way. Zombie Exodus. You lift your rifle and head downstairs, stopping only when you reach the sanctuary. Great. Zombies! You hear Mindy yell, and she appears from the... Oh, hold on. I need to check something. A low rumble can be felt through the solid stone floors, like an earthquake building. With the trembling comes a slow, agonizing wail. A chorus of the living dead in the same horrendous tone. Like a steady siren, you rush up to the catwalk and look through the cleared-out window. A sea of zombies undulate over the grassy hills below and trot over the road. They move east to west, filling up the countryside as if water spreading through an uneven container, taking up any space unoccupied, pushed by the force of what moves behind. The scene resembles some immense outdoor concert where people crowd every square inch of land. The large mass of living dead seems uninterested in the cathedral, but wanders past the area, unaware of its human occupants, though several smaller groups meander toward the outer doors, arms down, heads bobbing. The noise of the zombie army swells. Only shouts can be heard inside the cathedral. Sunlight creeps across the cathedral floor. A group is coming dangerously close to the front, Mindy shouts. Get ready, everyone. Say the survivors in the sanctuary have a worried looks in his understatement. All are caught in a silent anticipation. Like the hush before the start of a movie, Heather hides behind an overturned folding table with a rifle in hand. They are moving to the doors now, Mindy yells from the upper catwalk. Make sure your guns are loaded, you holler to all. Check your fire. Emma runs up beside you, a pistol in her hand and an odd look of peace on her face. She places her hands in yours and smiles and quickly moves to the side of the room. Badger comes from behind and slaps you on the back. It's a good day to die, huh? You glance at him, and the sight of your expression in his words make him burst into laughter. Don't worry, Chloe, it will only hurt when they bite you. Blood loss will knock you out fast. He steps past you and loads several shells in a 10-gauge pump-action shotgun and sits on the edge of a baptismal font in the center of the church. A shadow falls across the sanctuary in the high rafters. Birds flutter under the roof, then perch like spectators, glaring down at the struggle of human versus zombie. The ground thunders and dust falls from the walls and swells around the room, kicking into clouds of fine white powder like drifts of snow. Your heart jitters, and you hold your breath, anxiously waiting for whatever is about to happen. The air is still damp with an earthy smell. Death. You stare at the tall wooden doors of the cathedral, which bulge inward with a violent jolt. Emma swings the inner doors closed, and you help her latch them shut with a thick wooden beam, and then step back at the sound of the other doors buckling. Freakish zombie cries resound through the heavy oak barriers. The wood strains like a boat stressed in turbulent waters. The doors won't hold for long. We need a plan, Mindy shouts from the upper area of the catwalk. The harsh guttural sounds of the zombie legion fills the area, and a constant buzz like a swarm of bees. Dust shifts across the floor as the stomping of the ground outside shakes the foundation of the old Gothic cathedral, a place you have called home for months, saved from the death and chaos of the outside world. The beating of the doors sound like ancient drums pounding in a rhythmic tone. You shift the weapon in your aching hands, having squeezed the metal so long. Beads of sweat roll over your face, distracting as they slither down the skin, but you are too focused on the sanctuary doors to care. Emmett huddles in an alcove near the inner doors, cradled in stone where a statue of a saint once stood for decades. She prays to herself, lips parted, as she whispers some sort of words to the Almighty. But as you see her staring past the doors and follow her gaze, you see Cassie hiding beneath a folded chair and realize she's speaking to the apparition. Most of the zombies are passing by, Mindy calls down from on high, but at least 30 are storming our doors. As the walls are hammered and the doors buckle, you consider a plan for you and the survivors. Oh God. Okay, pardon me, this is like, whew. We will defend this cathedral to our last breath. Listen up, everyone. You shout above the raging sounds of the living dead. These doors may fall. We will defend this cathedral. The dead will not take it from us. Stay alert and be ready. When they come, open fire as they funnel through the entrance. I better see everyone focus on killing zombies, or so help me, I'll kill you myself. You rush to the top of the catwalk and peer over the side of the cathedral. More than 24 zombies crowd out of the outer doors, pushing at the wooden barriers that keep your small group of survivors from what is most likely an inescapable death. The living dead below wail and strike the doors, scraping with hardened nails and flesh, somehow knowing in their undead brains that the living exist on the other side. In the sanctuary, the survivors huddle and hide, poised for a fight, ready for what may be the last battle of their lives. Mindy rushes to your side, panting, face long, lips cracked, dark lines bulge from the area beneath her eyes. You look like hell, you say. No, hell is where we live. What's happening? Emma yells up to you. They are hammering the doors, but can't seem to get through, Mindy states. A darkness passes the area, and you gaze between the planks of the boarded window up at the night sky as clouds hide the moon and stars, blocking any light from reaching the cathedral. The zombies below look like one long mass of moving parts, arms waving as if in antennas of some huge dark insect squirming across the land. Time creeps by. You sit slumped on the metal grate of the catwalk, watching the writhing pack of living dead at the foot of the cathedral, mindering along her way. Minutes ago, and now returns to your side. How is everyone doing down there? You ask, waking from a few minutes of sleep. Hanging in there, she says in a tired voice. Mindy lifts a small metal flask from a cargo pocket and takes a swig. Her face twists after the swallow and she sticks her tongue out. Wow, smooth, she says and coughs. She hands you the flask with a smile. As your words die out, you hear a long and mighty creak, soon followed by an explosive sound of cracking wood. The long beam holding the inner door splits in two, sending splitters flying and sharpened spears. You duck as a wooden shard flies over your head. Zombies stream through the open archway, and you raise your rifle and blast first in line. Weapons fire from all around, filling the sanctuary with smoke and flashes of light. First few zombies fall, bodies ravaged from gunfire, twitching and contorting as if dancing to the music of their brave brethren outside. Broken wood and stone rubble block the entrance, but more zombies push and crawl their way in. As you wait for a shot, you glance around the room. Mindy reloads her submachine gun as she bounces from the edge of the catwalk. Toby stands at your side, growling so low you cannot hear him over the babble of the creatures outside. Heather has moved further from the doors and eyes the entrance nervously. You rush to the supply table and consider primary and secondary weapons first. I will choose the assault rifle and the machine gun. You quickly devise a strategy for defending the interior of the cathedral. Knowing many positions need to be covered, the catwalk provides the clearest line of fire but requires more accuracy from that distance. Stationing survivors near the inner doors would provide an initial quick strike to the advancing zombie pack. This is only possible with those who can remain cool under fire and are strong enough to attack with melee weapons. Past that first line of attack, survivors can be stationed in the center of the sanctuary, behind cover to stop zombies from passing further into the cathedral. It is best for you to stay in the center to manage the defense along with any survivors you wish to keep an eye on. First, you consider Mindy. She's a great shot from the catwalk and has spent considerable time on watch duty up there. You assign her, I'll put her on sniping from the catwalk. Next, you consider her sister. While you hope to keep her safe, assigning Emma close to you in the center of the room would keep her protected and give you help. Firing from cover in the center of the sanctuary. I'm going to do exactly from that. You glance at Heather. Let me fire from the catwalk. I swear I'll kill him as many as anyone else here. You assign her sniping from the catwalk, of course. Next, you consider Badger. I want you to just attack as they pass through the inner doors. Hold on, I'll be right back. The voice is dying, but I forgot my water. I will be right back. Call out the last assignment. The survivors take their positions. Mindy rushes back up the catwalk and checks her submachine gun. Emma rushes to the right side of you and kneels at a wooden pew, her weapon aimed at the inner doors. Heather seemed relieved as she runs to the catwalk and takes position close to the front of the sanctuary. Badger places the nub of a cigar in the corner of his mouth and heads to the inner doors. With the group dispersed, Toby scampers up to your legs and looks up as if waiting for his orders. The rubble and debris shifts at the inner doors, dust flies up in a thick cloud, and a sudden implosion of stone and broken wood clears the path of an advancing zombie group. Their rotting corpses shuffling to the front of the cathedral. As they shamble forward, Badger attacks, killing the first two zombies in line and drawing the attention of those behind. You fire as they advance, dispatching two with steady shots to their temples. Two or more file into the room, undeterred by the deaths of their fallen companions. They make it to the center of the sanctuary, and you fire a quick burst at one. Snapping his head back, Toby stays by your side, snapping his jaws at the walking corpses. Oh my gosh, this is going to be the one I really hope Toby doesn't get attacked, because I literally cannot handle the death of a dog. It's just too much for me. Also, obviously noticed by now, but this is going to be a rather late upload because this is a long chapter and I didn't want to stop halfway through leaving you guys on a cliff like that. Also kind of took a bit of a break. Also not dumb. My water is now beside me. Yay. So I'm not going to die. As the living dead flow through the broken inner doors, you call out orders, name targets, and shift survivors to defend the sanctuary. Your throat burns from the constant shouting. Your muscles ache from the non-stop movement. Your mind beckons you to rest. You glance at a pane of stained glass still intact in the image of Jesus Christ carrying the cross. You pray for his aid and summon his strength. Somehow you always knew it would come to this, a last fight to defend the one refuge you have held in a God-forsaken land. Amid a group of people you now call family, all of the trials and challenges you have faced seemed insignificant. The trips for supplies, the search for food, the raids from bandits, all have been blips in this timeline. All you face today is all that ever truly mattered. More zombies pour through the open doorway, and you fall back and let loose with your assault rifle, quickly unable to deal with the sheer numbers of the undead. Should we run, Chloe? There's so many, Emma shouts. I'm not leaving anyone behind. I have faith. We stay and fight, you yell for all to hear. This is our home. We will defend it. Nearby, Emma fires her pistol into the zombie pack, bracing her arm over the front of the wooden pew. Most of her shots hit flesh, not brain, simply knocking the zombies back. Emma, come on now. From the catwalk, Mindy's submachine gun screams over the howls of the zombies. She fires short bursts as they funnel through the inner doors, only stopping to reload. Heather leans over the rail at the front of the catwalk, aiming and firing while taunting her targets. Her shots are true, most in the head or neck. For what seems like eternity, a bleak and fearful eternity, your small group of survivors fights a multitude of living dead. Guns rattle as bullets strike undead flesh, and the shrill shrieks of the living dead quickly drown out any other sound. Claws swinging through the air and teeth gnash. As zombies fall, they are replaced, and when they drop, more take their place. Your ears hum and warble as each gunshot adds to the cacophony. Your eyes water, irritated by the smoke and ash all around you. Corpses lie about in twisted displays of death. And then it takes a turn as a new wave of zombies sweep into the room. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. Fighting each other through the doorway, those closest to the inner doors are first to go, though the rest of the survivors in the center room soon follow. As you fight off a trio of zombies, you rush to the side of the church and hope to catch a glimpse of your sister. Pressed against the wall, Emma is held up by a small group of undead that rent. Our sister is dead. You fade back from the center of the sanctuary, tripping over your feet, groggy yet filled with nervous energy. Zombies followed from all sides. You took to the side door leading out of the sanctuary, and no escape is your only salvation. But even as you turn, strong hands catch you. You wrench your arm away from clawed fingers and feel your shoulder dislocate. A great weight falls across your back and you crash to the ground. As your head smacks the tile, your vision goes black. Somehow you feel yourself floating, lost in some wave of euphoria. All pain gone, all feelings dulled. You open your eyes and look down at the sea of zombies in the sanctuary. Then all turns white. What? Huh? You goddamn son of a bitch. Oh my god. We have to go all the way back. Okay, no we don't. Okay. Hang on, guys. We can't defend the cathedral because obviously somehow that led to me dying. I don't like this. It's time for us to go, you holler. At your command, the survivors move through the sanctuary toward the gathering. Long creaks from the wooden door squeal through the old Gothic church. An acrid odor floats through the area as the cool August air carries the stench of the living dead. An impenetrable darkness covers the room, drifting across like a spilled can of black paint. The pounding at the front of the sanctuary, the discordant beat of many hands, pushes you to move everyone to a safer area. Are you sure we should abandon this place? Mindy says as she sprints up to her, your SMG bouncing on its strap over her shoulder. We'll never survive here. We should leave now while there is a chance. You are last of the gathering are all assembled, worn and ragged. You lead the group through the gathering and stop at the foot of the stairs of the second story. You will never see your room again, nor share one of Uncle Lou's meals, or sit in your office again. The realization that you are leaving the cathedral finally sinks in like zombie teeth. The only way out of here is through the alcove, Mindy says. Each way out of the cathedral presents unique challenges all their own, while the zombies roaming the outer walls are also a persistent problem. The alcove is extremely secured now. It will take a while to dig through it, you say, but it is doable. We could go over the courtyard wall, Heather says. My only reservation with the courtyard wall is that it leads to a wide open area where zombies could spot us. But those are our choices. The alcove, which will take a while to dig through, or climbing over the courtyard wall. Like, well, I mean, if we dig through the alcove, it could take some time, and the zombies could catch up also. But if we climb over the courtyard wall, it's a lot faster, but I don't know. I guess climb over the courtyard wall? Let's go to the courtyard, you say. Just past the gathering, your group assembles in the hallway leading to the outer courtyard. An old oak door leads outside. Preparing to leave through the courtyard, your mind cannot help but think about your future, where you will go, how you will survive, who you want to be, who you want by your side. As you unchain the door to the courtyard, you silently consider who you will take with you. What? Do I have to choose, or can I take everyone? I don't want to choose who comes with me. I feel like... No, I'm going to take everyone with me. Outside, the wind has picked up and blows leaves across the ground, shifting dirt over dry asphalt. The yard has been used for storage and latter weeks. Mostly boxes of religious items left from long ago and remnants of construction materials. The scene looks like a hoarder's paradise. We need people stacking boxes along the outer wall to create a stepladder. We also need to gather as many supplies as possible. All the while, we need to keep watch in the hall in case zombies break through the doors. Let's go. Mindy darts to the door, sticking her SMG past the doorway to watch the hall for the living dead, should they break through the doors. Emma reaches for a box of clergy garments and slams it on the ground next to the 10-foot high wall. I'm getting supplies, Heather says, and rushes into the hallway. Badger picks up a sack of clothing and swings it into the growing pile of junk near the wall. Toby stands in the middle of the courtyard, tail patting the ground, tongue wagging, and watches the movement of the other survivors. As the survivors build up the stairs of junk, you rush through the hallway and into the nearby supply room. Heather moves feverishly through the room, stacking cans of food in a duffel bag and piling in non-perishables. She mutters curses and pushes a single strand of hair over her ear repeatedly as it falls each time she bends over. You grab a backpack and shove it full of food, supplies, and ammo until the material bulges. Slapping the bag over your shoulder, you head back to the tunnel to check the group's progress. Cream-colored moonlight cuts through the night air, and somewhere a solitary owl hoots over the song of crickets. The pile of boxes of leftover containers leans against the tall outer wall. An explosion of howls echoes through the halls of the cathedral. The zombies have broken in. In minutes they will filter through the cathedral like feral rats through a maze, searching every corridor and crevice for food. Your heart races as the sound of the living dead intensifies, drawing closer to the hallway leading to the courtyard. With one last look back at the cathedral, you climb the boxes and lie across the Climb the boxes and lie across the wide length of the ledge of the wall. A great chortling noise flows through the closed oaken door leading back to the cathedral, as the last of your group leads to the ground. You hang jump off the wall. The grass field extends in all directions, tall blades bending in the breeze. As soon as the group is ready, you rush over the dull green field for a dark path leading through the old pine woods. Hang on, did Toby get through? I mean, I hope he did. You meet the edge of the forest and break through a swatch of branches, beyond which the woods open to a walkable terrain. Pine needles coat the ground, and at once you spot a corpse splayed across a slender rock, propped like a scarecrow. Signs of the zombie infection coat his skin like a bad disguise. The flesh twisted and wrenched. You divert your eyes and cut away from the dead figure. Moving along the path, you scan the vicinity for any movement. Bristly trees rattled in the swift breeze, reaching out thin tendril-like branches that slash your arms and legs. The fresh pine scent is masked by an earthy odor. You call back the other survivors to keep peace, though you are unsure where you are even going. A flash of motion some 20 feet ahead forces you to a halt. Heather bumps into your back. You wave everyone down. Your hands brush dry dead leaves on the path, which turn to ash under your fingertips. While dull green bush rustles, you listen and wait. Seconds fold into minutes, and something tells you to wait. The only sounds you hear emanate from the group you lead. The scraping of worn-soled shoes, a clearing of a throat, and a faint whisper. Through the woods you trek, your mind conjuring thoughts of where to go from here, what path will lead you away from zombie exodus, away from civilization, safer from the world it has become. The howls of the living dead grow distant the further into the woods you travel. Light from above is all but blocked by the dense forest canopy. You walk in quiet, both in contemplation of your journey ahead and to avoid any noise from zombies. Deeper into the woods, animals scurry and crickets chirp. The heat lifts and humidity fades. With each step, the air grows crisper, the trees more lush and green. A hawk screeches off to your right, low-pitched and echoing, heralding the coming of autumn, trumpeting the vastness of his kingdom. The forest breaks as an abrupt line, and you stand paces from the edge of a cliff. Face carved into the side of a low mountain, a jagged wind slaps your face as you stare at the sky. Purple satin blotted with gray clouds. You step closer to the edge of the ridge as it inclines to a stone point. As gray as burnt charcoal below the ledge, tree saplings poke up from rich soil tracing the contoured edge of the river. In the vast waters, a fishing boat bobs in the high waves, too distant to see any details. But idling toward the coastline along the coast, you stare at a strange sight. A machine of some kind covered in a long black tarp. Metal blades poke from the covering, resembling rotors of a helicopter. Past the beach, the mass of zombies flows across the land, slow and deliberate as they trot along the cathedral grounds. Diffuses into the old pine woods and storms with perpetual hunger through any barrier in their way. Staring across the great mass of living dead, you spot a break in the horde. An end to the multitude of undead. The last of the exodus. Oh boy. Oh, we are on the last part of this story, I believe. I think we're close to the end. August 18th, 2012. Of course, it's still 2012. I didn't need to read that. Sorry. On the ridge. What? Whoa, hold on. Whoa, I'm jumping ahead. Hang on, I'm sorry. Feel free to read on ahead while I take a sip, or just wait along with me. You too, you also can grab a sip of water if you guys are thirsty, because, you know, we've been here for a while. Seriously, don't want you guys dehydrated. Go get a drink of water. I can wait. Guys are good? Okay. On the ridge above the coastline, you stand and watch over the activities below. The boat racing to the shore and movement around the shadowed lagoon far below. The last of the undead horde shambling by the old pine woods and out of line of sight. You swing the binoculars off your neck and examine the coastline. Waves dance around the helm of the fishing boat as it cuts deep blue waters. On the deck you spot a figure. Carl! His face is shaped by a clean scar running across his cheek. But these features don't keep you from recognizing him. It's Carl, he say. Really? Heather says. What's he doing here? Turning to the lagoon, you spot the tarp flapping the breeze over the rotors of a large military helicopter, though no one appears around it. You follow a steep and narrow path along the ridge, feet displacing loose gravel, and an occasional wildflower growing in the side of the mountain. You tell your companions to trace their footsteps and stay close to the wall. Toby huddles close to the sheer rock surface, whimpering as he hobbles along. A shadow crosses your face in a fleeting moment. The side, feathered shapes, and lean body of a smooth rock wall. At a bend, the path declines in a sharp slope. This is the only way down. From your backpack, you remove a rope and grappling hook and fasten it on a twisted birch tree hanging from the side of the mountain. You tie the other end around Heather and lower herself off the side of the cliff. When she's down at the bottom, you reel the rope back in, secure it around Mindy, and repeat the process, doing this for Toby and for each remaining survivor. When all companions are at the bottom, you descend the rugged side of the cliff, half climbing, half rappelling. I read that right, yeah? Okay, moving on. Your feet dig into the terrain and you hold the rope in a taut grip, lowering yourself over the rocky tree-riddled face. Looking down, you spot the safe clearing, a stretch of clean earth nestled between a sheer stone slab and a bundle of thorny bushes. You direct your motion toward the narrow nook and drop down. At the base of the mountain, you gather the group, vault the walls of thorns, and lead them through the thin edge of the woods. Toby follows close behind. Knowing the zombies may be wandering the area, you arm yourself with... I don't know, but I feel like I should be smart. Apologies for that. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. I guess I'll just grab the machine gun. Scanning the area, you consider the sailboat gliding the coast and covered helicopter in the lagoon. Well, no. What? I'm going to the lagoon in a helicopter, you know? You straddle across the coastline and march toward the lagoon in the distance. The forested countryside falls away to the mountains, ending abruptly at a rocky shore where white waters roll and splash against the surface. As you cross the coarse beach, you confirm it is a helicopter resting in the shadows, while the black tarp conceals all but a blade of its rotor. Further down the beach, you straddle out growths of rock and use them for cover. Should anyone or anything jump out, you clear the last section of beach and reach the helicopter unscathed. Be careful, Emma whispers from behind, drawing back the tarp. You reveal a slender black craft, its thin tail and stubby legs giving it the appearance of an alien insect. Twin rotors sit atop the metal frame, and a glass window show the empty belly of the cockpit. You press the door and find no handle or lock. Chloe, Heather calls out. Circling the vehicle, you stop at the sight of a figure lying a few feet away. Soldier in a camouflage jumpsuit, his face tilted up and eyes in a hazy stare at the sky. You crouch beside the man, clutching your submachine gun. His skin is wet and shiny, a cold pale white. His blue lips are cracked and match his fingernails. You scan his body and find neither bite nor scratch. He simply looks dead, a natural death. Shoot him, Heather says. I'm pretty sure he's dead, Mindy states, rolling her eyes. No, I'm gonna investigate the helicopter. On the driver's side of the helicopter, you still notice no handle or lock. The outer surface of the cockpit is eggshell smooth, and as you run your hand along the sleek black interior, lines trail your fingertips in a layer of dust and sand. In one swipe near the large front windshield, your touch grazes an oval depression on a side beam, and the door juts out an inch and rotates upward under the hum of sliding gears. You squeeze into the driver's seat, instantly comforted by the soft leather and cushioning of the small cabin. Size forces you into a contorted position. The side door slides shut, ending with a clamping and clicking noise. Dozens of square and circular displays crowd the dashboard, items labeled altimeters, indicators, and selectors. Absently, you flip a few switches, but the panel lacks power, remaining dull and dark. A shadow falls over the cockpit and you look out from the display board, realizing quite a bit of time has passed. You feel around the door and catch another indentation and push open the driver's side door. As you spin your legs out of the cramped space, you hear a faint beeping from the passenger side. You lie across the seats and follow the monotonous tone, immediately spotting a red tiny light, buttoned out from a gunmetal gray box. The size of a thick mobile phone, you unclip the device from the underside of the dashboard. The red light fades, and an LCD window flashes into life, displaying a compass area with the digits NW273.628. Outside the helicopter, you search along the outside frame for any compartments, though Heather with a step ahead of you. There are a few bags of supplies inside. Water, tools, first aid kit, and these weird tubes of toothpaste-looking things, she says and tosses one of the satchels to you. Opening the bag, you remove a squeeze tube labeled mush. Pop the circular cap and touch your fingertip to the brown toothpaste-like substance floating out. A pungent odor of stale meat hits your nose, but you tap your tongue with the smallest morsel possible. Though it tastes like cardboard-flavored chalk, you deduce the substance of the food paste. Pack all of it up and sling the backpack over your shoulder along with the rest of your gear. A far-off howl filters through the air. You use this as a sign to move on. Back at the base of the mountain, you find your rope and set up to climb back to the summit. Where are we going? Heather asks, her voice shaky. What's that beeping? Found this inside of the helicopter. You hear the distinctive beep with the black box that display reads NW273.513. Checking the position of the sun. You determine your current course is northwest. I have a feeling we should go wherever this box is leading us. You set off through the woods, knowing it could take days or even weeks to cross that much land. Nearly 2 weeks pass, and your travels away from the cathedral. You cross the forest in the first few days, living off the fresh food you brought along with foraged fruits and berries and the occasional vermin spotted running about. Water is easy to find, and you clean it with the water filtration system and taken from the helicopter. The living dead are a few and far between, and those you do find are languid as if hibernating, easy to avoid or kill. Pines fade away and the forest brims with spruce and oak the further you walk. Eventually the forest disappears for rough plains overgrown grass and weeds, long stretches of country road and acres of untended dirt and soil where farms would be thriving only months ago. These give way to small towns of boarded up business and broken down homes. This small wood and brick skeletons picked clean by looters and the remnants of humankind. You search through many you pass, seldom finding anything of use. When fresh food is used up, you live off the food paste, and although the taste lacks any resemblance of something edible, starvation flavors the brown substance, tricking your mind into hallucinations of chicken pot pie, your aunt's pot roast, and ice cream sundaes. The lack of undead is just as unsettling as hordes of them. The long empty stretches of field or city create a tense sense of impending doom, that any corner that you may run, you smack in the middle of a horde of hungry undead. Your companions are your saving grace, maintaining your body and mind, reminding you to take breaks through the seemingly never-ending walks, scavenging houses, or when hunting along the path. They keep you sane during the most desperate, lonely times when all you do is stare at the blinking light and watch the display change to new numbers. Everyone fills a role. Mindy reminds you of your will to survive, having faced so many hardships since the dawn of the apocalypse. Heather reminds the group of what it is like to be alive, to laugh, to cry, to complain, to be comforted, and to be relied on for one other person's survival. Emma provides words of encouragement, a simple hug or a pep talk when needed. She reminds you that relying on another is the true meaning of family. The trek is not without its losses. Badger abandons the group, sneaking off in the early hours of the morning with a full pack of food and extra weapons. Of course. Badger, you ass. I'm gonna go for abandoning us. Pardon me, I am so sorry. This is quite a bit of a long chapter. September 12th. You hold the black box display in hand, your trembling, sweaty hand. It has read similar figures for hours. Yeah, those numbers. You can take the time to read those. In narrowing circles, you walk through the forest, the beeping light pushing you forward. As the digits fluctuate with each anguishing step, you stop on a dirt path and sit in the shade of the spruce. Taking the last tube of food paste from your backpack, you squeeze out the final morsel of brown gel into your mouth and suck the end of the tube for any drop of substance. You slice the tube open and dig your finger into the insides, peeling back the layers like skinning a fish. You smear the residue on your thumbs like a drug user with his last fix. Nothing left. We've been at this for hours, Heather says, her eyes worn, skin waxy and cold to the touch. She hasn't eaten a day. We can't go on like this. We need to find a place to rest and get food. It's around here. It has to be. What? What is it? Mindy yells. We've been searching and searching, but we won't even know what we're looking for. The display reads E0000.0919. So close, yet no hint of anything at the end of this mystery. No payoff to walking 270 plus kilometers across the dead lands of the former civilization called the United States of America. Where are you leading me? You cried out, and the woods soak up the noise with no answer. You lift the black box, the source of your hope for weeks, and reel your arm back to throw the device. You bring your hand forward but don't release. Angry, you drop back again, waving your arm through the air. The box beeps, and at a distance something answers back. A tone in the dense thick of the forest, longer than the box's sound, but clearly similar. like long-lost twins calling for one another. The box's display changes to grid lines and a zoomed-in perspective of the force of the central red light and a second one at 2 o'clock. You rise and turn, walk a few steps, adjust, rotate, and line up the dots. What? What is it? Heather asks, rushing to your side. 40 feet, 30 feet, 20, 10. The beeping grows louder and faster until it stretches to a constant tone, then fades. The display clears and a symbol fills the screen, the line drawing of a hand with a 5-point star embedded inside. In front of you, a fallen tree, dark brown and rotted hard with gold and green moss, carpeting the base. You wave the black box. The display remains the same. Fervently, you push the tree. To try and rock it, it runs your hands along the rough sides, tears the moss. Heather throws her shoulder into the tree, screaming out as she pushes. Nothing happens. Your stomach growls, your mouth is too dry to swallow, your head aches, and your tears sting your eyes. A type of panic sets in as weeks of plodding across a sliver of country ends with a dead tree in the middle of nowhere. All of your resources are used up, all of your hope and humanity lost. You take the black box in hand, preparing to bash it against the side of the tree trunk, and then you spot it. A depression, the shape of the box in the face of the trunk. It was a simple fit, the edges just sliding in place, and then the log rolled sideways, and a series of gears turned and pistons slid, metal folded, and mechanisms triggered in some elaborate sequential lock. Unlock. Wait here, you tell your companions. In the space left by the log, metal stairs descend. Low light flood lamps illuminate the steps, the size and intensity of fireflies. You move down the stairs, black box in hand, though the display is clear as gray. As you arrive at the bottom landing, the unnatural clicking of the machinery resonates through the shallow tunnel. A metal plate closes to the top of the stairs, and an overhead track of lights flip on. You walk along the corridor and pass through an open doorway. Inside the next room sits a central podium with a touch screen and 3 doors leading out. The whole place resembles a hospital or clinic. Sterile and flat, with sharp edges and blank walls. You tap the screen, which responds with a circle around your fingertip, and the kiosk lights in a pale blue. Place hand in center. Good. Now type your name. Thank you, Chloe Miller. Select your destination. Okay, quarters, I guess. You press the button on the kiosk. The clear white floor hums and glows, and an orange iridescent light lights up on the floor. You follow the trail through a door and along a blank-walled corridor. On the right side of the entrance room, you find a series of living quarters cut up into narrow rows of duplicate rooms, each one consisting of a cot attached to the wall, a metal standing closet, and a simple porcelain sink. All rights in this wing appear unoccupied. Heading out of the room, you start toward the entrance of the bunker to the room with the kiosk. Your hand grazes the wall in the hallway, and a vacant panel awakens with a colored floor plan of the area. The floor is laid out in a cross, and along the top of the display are multicolored tabs for other levels of the compound. Touching other tabs does nothing but produce a buzz and the word inaccessible across the display. Clearing the error, you search for the location to the cafeteria? The cafeteria lies on the left of the main entrance and continues the bland white featureless decor of the bunker. 3 rows of square white tables form the eating area, with a short circular table in each corner of the room. These tables have polished surfaces now layered in dust with a gray chute hanging above it and leading into the ceiling. A computer screen sits along the hanging device. You touch the screen, and the table vibrates, with the overhead device shaking and whizzing like the sound of a food processor. The screen shows food categories, and when you select dinner, beef, meatloaf, and potatoes, the cylindrical tabletop opens, a white bottle pops up, and the overhead machine globs a substance similar to tube food into the bowl. You lift a bowl which contains a whitish and brownish paste, the consistency of oatmeal. Sitting at a table, you press a button marked utensils. A compartment fills open and a plastic sleeve holding a metal spoon pops up. Well, you have come to abhor the taste and texture of oatmeal. The brownish substance tastes like meatloaf, and the white side tastes like whipped potatoes. Oh my god, I love potatoes. With more rooms to search, you find it difficult to enjoy the meal and opt to take it with you while exploring the rest of the bunker. Leaving the room, you touch the side wall and activate the floor diagram to locate the Well, we have no other choice. I guess we're going to go to processing. Next to the entrance room, processing is an oval-shaped unit with rows of metal cabinets and lockers. Wow, that was strange. A cylindrical container, the cross between a phone booth and stand-up, full-body X-ray machine. As you near the machine, it buzzes alive with an orange glow. You step inside, and the light grows brighter, and a thin red band streaks up and down your body. Seconds later, the light dulls, and you step out of the machine. On the scanner surface, a screen blinks with a message. Chloe Miller, clear of Zeta. A locker door swings out. Inside, a clean blue and gray jumpsuit hangs above a pair of black sneakers. Behind the scanner, a panel slides away, revealing a slender tiled nook with a vent on the walls, spiral jets in the ceiling, and a wide drain on the floor. Having searched the major rooms, you peel off your dirty clothes and step into the futuristic pod. For a few minutes, and enjoy a warm shower. A mixture of pressurized air and water cleans your body. Afterward, you dress in a clean jumpsuit and toss your clothes into the backpack. The crackle of a speaker sounds from corners of the ceiling, and a neutral voice blares instructions. Attention, Chloe Miller, please go to the command room. You press the side wall for an area map and identify the location of the command room, which resides the furthest distance from the entrance in this portion of the bunker. Command opens into a wide but narrow room with wall-to-wall screen, much like the one found on the entrance kiosk. 4 cubicles sit in a row below it, each with a black keyboard and mouse, and several small monitors on articulating arms. Entering the room, the black screen flashes on displaying a string of numbers and symbols. Okay, I am not reading those. You sit at a computer terminal and glide the mouse, click the screen, and try numerous commands that come to mind. The same result reoccurs, error in syntax. Refer to manual, ? Dozens of commands turn to 100, leading to the same 3 lines. This might take a while. Whoa. Hold on, man. Whoa, what? September. Whoa. Whoa. What is going on? September 2017. 5 years later. We're here right now. Those first 6 months were the longest. We had supplies and shelter, but only a small portion of this bunker was available. No one would create such a place and not have some purpose for it. I worked long hours trying to break the code for the main terminal. When did you realize it was a lost cause? Says the man sitting across from you. Wait, what? Excuse me? Around year 1. I learned enough of the code to access the main storage area. Though this will stay only a portion of the overall compound, unknown to me. Another group of survivors is using the other wings of the great bunker, and my actions opened access for all of us. That initial meeting was tense, but we soon agreed to join together for mutual benefit. Another side effect of opening the main storage area was to send out a beacon of sorts. In time, travelers found the bunker. Some we let in, others were turned away. Everyone worked hard and got along for the most part. And beyond chance bandit raids or random undead attacks, we lived in peace. We defined roles and work assignments, some helping to maintain our living quarters, some scouted the surrounding areas for threats, some acquired food and supplies from nearby towns. Sounds like a real fairy tale story, the man says. He flips to a new page of his notepad and sinks back in his chair. Hold on, where are we? Apparently we just fast forwarded 5 years up to now. I'm kind of lost. We were living in peace and had enough food to survive, but we weren't without hardships. People still contracted sickness that we were ill-trained to treat. A few gangs of bandits harassed us for our resources. Weather and the elements forced us to use up our food and supplies without the ability to venture far from the depot to replenish them. You mentioned illness. None among you were doctors? My sister Emma was a huge help in that first year. She was a nurse before the outbreak. And I swear the virus targeted healthcare professionals first because there was a severe lack of doctors and nurses for all the medical care we needed. Cracking the Duplo's code gave us access to a wealth of new information. Emma learned to use the diagnostic equipment and surgical technology to advance her own knowledge base. Before long, she was providing more than just urgent care. She was treating long-term health-related problems. prescribing medications, delivering babies, anything you can imagine. She was truly a healer. I'm proud of my sister. Is she still living there? Yes. She runs our medical wing, or what's left of it. The man holds up a cup of steaming liquid to his lips. A cough in the far corner draws your attention to the armed guard at the cell door. So what else can I tell you? Well, there's Heather. I'd say leaving the cathedral was hardest on her. She came to depend on that place, to depend on her brother Tom. Eventually we left the cathedral, and with her brother gone and the lack of feeling secure, the extreme parts of her personality became even more potent, like sprinkling hot sauce on a spicy pepper. She became more sarcastic, more emotional, a bit devious, and often mean-spirited. On the other side, she was unnaturally loyal, territorial, and daring. Once she locked me in a closet in a house we were scavenging, just so she could clear the house of zombies on her own to prove her worth. Oh, Heather. It wasn't until she took over as leader of the group that the greatest change occurred in her. She became selfless and moral, fair and efficient. She got to know everyone in our extended family of survivors and utilized them in the best way possible. Some would say she was the best part of her brother mixed with her own cunning, no-nonsense personality. I just know Heather always had it in her, and leaving the cathedral took away the security blanket she had to lose before she could grow. You shift into the padded metal seat and lean across the table. Leaving the cathedral had the greatest impact on Mindy. Back at our former safe haven, she was one of the core members, going out on supply runs, valuable in firefights against zombies and raiders, and essential on watch duty. She even led our group for a while. Mindy disagreed with many of the choices I made. She didn't approve of living in a depot. She considered it a glorified prison. She argued about the delegation of responsibilities and distribution of labor. It got to a point where every discussion became contentious, nearly leading to a physical altercation on many occasions. She felt our group wasn't aggressive enough finding resources. Eventually, we split the depot into separate divisions. Mindy led our security team, which was like our own private militia. She ran the group with an iron fist, and we felt a sense of safety not experienced since the outbreak. We didn't argue much after that, as she finally had a team to lead as she sees fit. Years 2 and 3 were sometimes prosperity. Our community was building. People were finding us from all over. Vermont, Florida, Washington, Texas. A council formed to govern the hundreds of people moving to the depot, and we stretched our borders outside of the forest and set up camps on the surrounding areas, all supported by this compound. In year 3 of our borders had expanded a great deal to other towns nearby, while the depot remained as our central command. Excess food and resources are stored here, and we use the technological resources to train survivors, engineer new tools to increase our efficiency, and as always, a safe haven in the case of attack. By year 4, the living dead had spread to the lesser populated areas of the country. Lacking humans as food, they went to a state of hibernation, making them easy to avoid and kill. In those later years, we encountered fewer and fewer zombies. Our real fight was to survive the elements and find food to support the mass of people now living among us. You stare at the man who nods and writes, as if he has no care in the world but to hear a tale of the last 5 years of your life. That basically brings us to the present. We tried to get the terminal to work. Tried to make contact with whoever was on the other side of that large screen. The man takes his glasses off and closes his notebook. You shared your story. Now I'll share mine. We were obviously on the other side of that screen, as you metaphorically described it, and we had so well encrypted communication that without proper training, you would need an advanced computer engineering degree and 100+ years to crack the code. We thought this bunker would be maintained, but for whatever reason, the staff abandoned it. We haven't checked all of the earlier records yet, but it seems several of the depots in this area were used for unauthorized experimentations. Their workers became infected and were locked away in areas inaccessible to you. Central Command, as we are called, had a little time to investigate these depots, since our efforts were focused on 2 objectives. First, of course, was survival, and secondarily, to coordinate a worldwide effort to eradicate the virus. We were surprised you finally made contact with us. Having no ability to send you an unencrypted message back, we sent teams to investigate. I apologize now for the show of force we used, but we did not anticipate a violent response into our arrival. A lot of good people died due to something you call miscommunication. Be that as it may, we regret the loss of life, and imprisoning me, a safeguard until we figured out your motives. The man rises and the two guards open the double doors. What now? The man pauses and turns, his face featureless except for a raised eyebrow. We cleared the area of zombies and opened all inaccessible areas. You are in control of the depot. Oh, hell yeah! No, I mean, what are we supposed to do now? You killed over half of our people and decimated our housing. In 2 days, you destroyed 5 years of work. Why, now you... A buzzer interrupts the man, and one of the guards hands him a handset. The trio step out of the room and walk away, leaving you alone in the open cell. Ah, shut up. Fuck. No. Achievement unlocked. Wait, so that said ending 4. Oh, that's amazing. So, I guess there's... What, there's other endings to this? Okay, that's very interesting. You step from the depot entrance, climbing the stairs you descended 5 years ago to the ravaged forest. The tree stumps still smolder from the tank shells. Ripped fabric blows across the barren ground, torn from survivor camps. The scent of gunpowder lingers, mixed with the stench of decomposing corpses. Dozens of survivors walk behind you and defuse the surrounding area to start the arduous task of rebuilding. In the midst of that September day, you cannot help but think of all the obstacles you have faced. The zombies, the bandits, starvation, the elements, sickness, and even the betrayal from within your own group. Your path was long, but your decisions led you to this point. In the shadow of the new civilization being formed, you walk fearless and determined, ready to face the future. Whoa! Okay, so that's the end. We finally made it to the end, guys. You have reached the end. I hope you have enjoyed Zombie Exodus. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this to a friend? 10, absolutely. This game is absolutely amazing. Great. Please post a review of this game on the Google Play. Okay, then. Well, that was amazing. I mean, throughout this whole series, I absolutely loved playing it. At times, it got kind of a little boring, but overall, well, this is like only the second choose your own adventure style kind of game I've ever played, but it's like one of my absolute favorites, and I absolutely loved it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I mean, now that we're at the end of the game, probably moving on to more cool things. Hopefully get into another choose your own adventure style kind of game soon. But overall, I really liked Zombie Exodus. I don't know what else to say, but I really loved it. I mean, hopefully all of you did too, and most of you stuck through it with me, or maybe most of you are probably gone away from this series so far, but to the ones who stuck through and watched, I hope you guys loved the story as much as I did. Well, I guess that's it for Zombie Exodus. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit that button down below. And if you want to find out different endings for yourself and to find what the other endings were, links for the game will be down in the description. And like always, I will catch you all in the next video. Stay awesome. Bye.